Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of people get confused about when it comes to love. I'm Steve Harvey, and after years of listening to women talking to couples and living life myself, I've learned something very important. When a man truly loves you, you don't have to spend all your time guessing about it. Love from a real man leaves evidence. It shows up in his actions, in his priorities, and in the way he treats you when nobody else is watching. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by telling you something that many people overlook when they talk about love. Real love is not just a feeling that lives inside someone's heart. Real love shows up in a man's priorities. It shows up in the way he organizes his time, the way he gives his attention, and the way he chooses where to invest his energy. When a man truly loves you, you will see it in one powerful way. He makes you a priority in his life. Now listen carefully, because this is something that clears up a lot of confusion for many women. A man will always make time for what truly matters to him. I don't care how busy his job is. I don't care how demanding his schedule might be. I don't care how many responsibilities he has. If you are truly important to him, he will find a way to include you in his life. It may not always be perfect timing, and it may not always look like a fairy tale, but the effort will always be there. You see, when a man is serious about a woman, she stops feeling like an option and starts feeling like a priority. There's a big difference between those two things. An option is someone you get to when you feel like it. A priority is someone you make room for no matter what. And a man who truly loves you will make that space for you. You won't feel like you're competing with everything else in his life just to get a little attention. Than his life just to get a little attention. A lot of women say to me, Steve, he says he cares about me, but he's always too busy. Let me tell you something about that word busy. Everybody in this world is busy. People are busy with work, busy with friends, busy with hobbies, busy with their phones, busy with everything. But somehow, when something truly matters to us, we suddenly find the time. We rearrange things. We adjust our schedule. We stay up a little later. We wake up a little earlier, because that thing has become important to us. When a man truly loves you, he wants you to be part of his life, not just when it's convenient, but consistently. He wants to hear your voice. He wants to know how your day went. He wants to see your smile. And the reason is simple. Your presence adds value to his life. Being around you makes his life better. So naturally, he makes room for you. Now, this doesn't mean a man will suddenly abandon all his responsibilities. That's not what real love looks like. A responsible man still works hard. He still handles his duties. But the difference is that he finds balance. He makes sure that the woman he loves does not feel neglected. He understands that relationship require time, attention, and effort. Without those things, love begins to feel empty. When a man makes you a priority, you won't feel like you're always the one chasing him. You won't be the only one sending messages first every single day. You won't always be the one trying to plan time together. Instead, you will see him reaching out to you. You will see him making plans. You will see him wanting to spend time with you because he enjoys your company. Another powerful thing happens when a man truly prioritizes you. He starts considering your feelings when making decisions. Suddenly, the choices he makes are no longer just about him. They begin to include you as well. He starts thinking about how his actions affect you. He becomes more mindful, more thoughtful, and more aware of the role you play in his life. For example, when something exciting happens in his life, you will often be one of the first people he wants to share it with. When something difficult happens, he may also come to you for support. That's because when a man values you deeply, he naturally pulls you closer into his world. You will also notice something very simple but very meaningful. A man who prioritizes you communicates. He doesn't disappear for days without explanation. He doesn't leave you constantly wondering where you stand in his life. Instead, he keeps that connection alive because he understands that communication is part of maintaining a strong relationship. Now, let me say something very important. A man who truly loves you doesn't make you feel like you're asking for too much when you want his time. He doesn't make you feel guilty for wanting attention. Instead, he understands that giving time and attention is part of loving someone. In fact, he often wants to give it freely because he values the relationship. And ladies, here's something powerful you should remember. When a man is genuinely interested in you, spending time with you doesn't feel like a burden to him. It feels like something he enjoys. It feels like something he looks forward to. Your conversations, your laughter, your presence, those things become part of the happiness he experiences in his life. This is why you must pay attention not just to the words a man speaks, but to the effort he makes. Effort reveals priority. Effort shows intention. Effort exposes what truly matters to someone. When a man repeatedly shows effort to be present in your life, it's a strong sign that you hold an important place in his heart. Because at the end of the day, love that is real doesn't hide behind excuses. Love that is real doesn't constantly leave you waiting and wondering. Love that is real shows up through actions that say, you matter to me. And when a man truly loves you, you will see that truth reflected in the way he makes you a genuine priority in his life. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that clears up a lot of confusion when it comes to relationships. One of the biggest signs that a man truly loves you is when his actions match his words. Now that might sound simple, but it is one of the most powerful truths you will ever understand about love. You see, talking is easy. Anybody can say beautiful things. Anybody can promise the world. Anybody can say, I care about you, or I'm serious about you, or even I love you. Words can sound sweet, words can sound convincing, and sometimes words can even make you feel like you're living in a dream. But the problem is that words alone don't build trust. Words alone don't create security. Words alone don't prove love. Real love is proven through consistent actions. A man who truly loves you doesn't just speak about how much you matter to him. He shows you through what he does day after day. And when his actions match what he says, that's when you begin to see that his feelings are genuine. Now let me explain something important about men. When a man is serious about something, he commits to it with his behavior. If he says he's going to do something, he makes the effort to follow through. Because a man who respects you and values you understands that his word means something. He understands that every promise he makes builds or breaks trust. For example, if a man tells you he will call you later, and he actually calls you later, that might seem like a small thing. But those small moments are actually powerful signs of reliability. They show that he respects you enough to do, well, okay. They show that he respects you enough. He said he would do. And when you see that consistency again and again, it creates confidence in the relationship. But if a man constantly says things and then fails to follow through, that creates confusion. One day he says he cares deeply about you, and the next day he disappears without explanation. One day he promises to spend time with you, and the next day something suddenly becomes more important. When words and actions don't line up, the relationship starts to feel unstable. A man who truly loves you understands something very important. He knows that love is not just about making promises. Love is about keeping them. It's about proving through actions that his words were honest. Now, ladies, pay attention to how a man behaves when things are not convenient. Anybody can say loving things when everything is going smoothly. Anybody can act affectionate when it's easy and comfortable. But the true test of a man's sincerity appears when effort is required. When a man truly cares about you, he still shows up when life gets busy. He still communicates when he's tired. He still respects you when disagreements happen. His behavior doesn't completely change depending on the situation. Instead, there is a steady pattern that shows his commitment to you. You see, consistency is one of the clearest forms of love. When a man consistently treats you with respect, consistently communicates, consistently shows interest in your life, those actions become stronger than any romantic speech he could ever give. Because consistency tells you that his feelings are not temporary. They are stable and dependable. Another thing you will notice when a man's actions match his words is that you begin to feel emotionally secure. You don't spend your nights wondering what he really means. You don't constantly question whether he is serious about you. His behavior answers those questions. Before you even have to ask him. When he says he values you, he shows it by listening when you speak. When he says he respects you, he shows it by treating you with kindness and consideration. When he says he wants to build something meaningful with you, he shows it by investing time and energy into the relationship. A man who truly loves you also understands that honesty is part of aligning his actions with his words. He doesn't tell you things just to keep you around. He doesn't create false promises to make you feel good temporarily. Instead, he speaks with sincerity because he intends to stand behind what he says. And let me tell you something powerful about trust. Trust is not built in one big moment. It is built through hundreds of small moments where someone proves that their words are real. Every time a man follows through on what he said, he strengthens that trust a little more. Over time, those repeated actions create a solid foundation in the relationship. You begin to see that this man is dependable. You begin to feel that his presence in your life is genuine, and that feeling of reliability becomes one of the most comforting parts of being with someone who truly loves you. When a man's actions match his words, you also notice that he does not need to constantly convince you of his feelings. He doesn't need dramatic speeches or endless explanations. He doesn't need dramatic speeches or endless explanations. His behavior already tells the story. The way he treats you, the way he shows up, the way he invests in the relationship becomes the proof of his love. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the kind of love that lasts. Because love built on consistent actions is much stronger than love built on beautiful words alone. Words may inspire emotion, but actions create belief. Actions create trust. Actions create real connection. So if you truly want to know whether a man loves you, don't just listen carefully to what he says. Watch closely what he does. Watch how he behaves when promises are made. Because when a man's actions consistently match his words, that is one of the clearest and strongest signs that his love for you is real. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that is deeply important in any relationship, yet many people don't recognize it right away. One of the strongest signs that a man truly loves you is that he protects and supports you emotionally. Now, when people hear the word protect, they often think about physical protection, like a man standing up in a dangerous situation. But emotional protection is just as powerful, and sometimes even more important. When a man truly loves a woman, he becomes careful with her heart. He understands that emotions are real, that feelings matter, and that the way he treats you can either build you up or break you down. A man who truly loves you does not treat your heart like a toy or something disposable. Instead, he treats it with care, respect, and responsibility. You see, emotional protection starts with awareness. A loving man pays attention to the way you feel. He listens when you speak, not just to respond, but to understand. When you share your worries, your dreams, your frustrations, he takes those things seriously. He doesn't brush them off or make you feel like your emotions are a burden. Instead, he recognizes that your feelings are a part of who you are. When a man loves you deeply, he wants to be someone you feel safe with. Not just physically safe, but emotionally safe. That means you can talk to him about what's on your mind without feeling judged or dismissed. You can express your fears without worrying that he will laugh at you or ignore you. Emotional safety is one of the greatest gifts a partner can give. And let me tell you something important about men. When a man truly loves a woman, her happiness begins to matter to him in a very real way. He notices when something is wrong. Maybe you're quieter than usual. Maybe your smile isn't the same. Maybe something is weighing on your mind. A man who cares will pay attention to those signals. He may not always have the perfect solution, but he will want to be there for you. Sometimes support doesn't mean fixing the problem. Sometimes support simply means listening, standing beside you, and reminding you that you're not alone. A man who truly loves, she wants to be part of the strength that helps you get through difficult moments. Another part of emotional protection is respect. A loving man respects your feelings even when he doesn't fully understand them. Instead of dismissing your emotions, he tries to see things from your perspective. He values the fact that you trust him enough to share what's inside your heart. Now let's talk about something that many relationships struggle with: how a man behaves during conflict. Every relationship will have disagreements. No two people see the world exactly the same way, and sometimes misunderstandings happen. But the way a man handles those moments tells you a lot about the depth of his love. A man who truly loves you doesn't try to win every argument by hurting you. He doesn't use cruel words just to prove a point. He doesn't insult you, embarrass you, or tear down your confidence. Instead, even when emotions are high, he still tries to treat you with respect because he understands something very important. Winning an argument means nothing if it damages the person you love. Emotional protection also shows itself in the way a man defends you when others disrespect you. If someone speaks badly about you, a loving man does not stay silent just to keep the peace. He makes it clear that you deserve respect. That doesn't mean he has to start a fight or create drama, but he makes it known that the woman he loves will not be treated poorly. When a man stands up for you, it sends a powerful message. It shows that he values your dignity and that he is proud to have you in his life. That kind of loyalty creates a strong emotional bond between two people. Support also means encouraging you to grow. Support also means encouraging you to grow. A man who truly loves you wants to see you succeed. He doesn't feel threatened by your goals, your talents, or your ambitions. Instead, he becomes one of your biggest supporters. When you're chasing a dream, he cheers you on. When you're doubting yourself, he reminds you of your strength. He celebrates your victories, even the small ones. And when things don't go your way, he helps lift you up instead of making you feel like a failure. That kind of support builds confidence because you know someone you love believes in you. There's also something very special about the way a loving man comforts the woman he cares about. When life becomes stressful and overwhelming, he tries to bring peace into your world. Sometimes it's through kind words, sometimes through a simple gesture, sometimes through quiet presence. But his intention is clear. He wants to be someone who adds comfort to your life, not chaos. And ladies, here's something powerful to remember. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't enjoy seeing you hurt. Your pain affects him. Your tears matter to him. He doesn't want to be the reason you feel insecure, anxious, or emotionally drained. Instead, he wants to be someone who strengthens you, someone who reminds you that you are valued, someone who creates an environment where your heart can feel safe, appreciated, and respected. Because at the end of the day, real love is not just about romance or attraction. Real love is about care. It's about protecting each other's hearts, supporting each other's struggles, and creating a space where both people can grow without fear. And when a man truly loves you, that emotional protection becomes one of the clearest signs that his feelings for you are genuine and deeply rooted. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you one of the clearest and most powerful signs that a man truly loves you. When a man loves you deeply, he begins to include you in his future. Now, this may not always happen in a dramatic way at first. It doesn't always start with big promises or grand speeches. Often it ends with small conversations, small plans, and small hints that slowly reveal something much bigger. He sees you as part of the life he is building. You see, when a man is only interested in temporary pleasure or a short-term relationship, he usually lives only in the present moment. His focus is on today, maybe tomorrow, but rarely beyond that. He enjoys your company. He may care about you in some way, but he keeps his long-term plans separate from you. His future conversations don't include you, and the direction of his life seems to move forward without considering your place in it. But when a man truly loves you, something changes inside him. His mindset begins to shift. Suddenly, he doesn't just think about what he wants to do next weekend. He begins thinking about where he wants to be months from now, years from now, and who he wants beside him on that journey. And if he loves you deeply, you naturally become part of those thoughts. You might notice it first in the way he talks. Maybe he starts saying things like, "We should go there someday," or "We could plan that together," or "One day we might do this." Those small words might seem simple, but they reveal something very meaningful. The moment a man begins speaking about the future with you included, it shows that he is imagining a life where you are still present. Now, understand something about men. Men are often very careful about who they picture in their long-term life plans. A man who is serious about his goals and his direction in life does not casually place someone into his future vision unless that person truly matters to him. When he begins to imagine you beside him in the long run, it means you have become important to his sense of stability and happiness. Another thing you may notice is that he starts introducing you more deeply into his world. When a man sees a future with you, He doesn't keep you hidden away from the important parts of his life. He becomes proud to have you around the people who matter to him. His friends begin to know about you. His family may hear about you. The woman he loves becomes someone he is not afraid to show to the world. This is because a man who truly loves you begins to see the relationship as something meaningful and lasting. He doesn't treat it like a secret or something temporary. Instead, he starts building connections between you and the other important parts of his life. That integration is often a sign that he is thinking about long-term commitment. You will also notice that a man who sees you in his future begins to consider your needs and goals alongside his own. Life decisions are no longer just about what works for him. He starts thinking about what works for both of you. When opportunities come his way, he may ask your opinion. When he plans something important, he may think about how it will affect you. That doesn't mean he loses his independence or stops being his own person, but it means that your presence has become significant enough that he values you. Raw perspective and wants your life to fit harmoniously with his. Another sign that a man includes you in his future is the way he talks about growth. A man who loves you wants to grow with you, not away from you. He may discuss goals about improving his career, building stability, or creating a better life. And within those conversations, you will often hear hints that he hopes you will be there beside him as those goals unfold. There's something very beautiful about that kind of love. It's not just about enjoying the moment together. It's about building something meaningful over time. A man who sees a future with you is not just thinking about how you make him feel today. He's thinking about partnership, teamwork, and shared experiences that stretch far ahead. Sometimes this also shows itself in the way he prepares for life. When a man becomes serious about the woman he loves, he often begins thinking more responsibly about stability. He might start focusing more on his goals, his finances, or the direction of his life, not because someone forced him to do it, but because he understands that a meaningful relationship deserves a solid foundation. And ladies, here is something very important to understand. When a man truly loves you, planning a future with you doesn't feel like pressure to him. It feels natural. It feels exciting. The idea of building something together gives him motivation and purpose. You will feel that difference in the way he talks about tomorrow. Instead of uncertainty, there is clarity. Instead of hesitation, there is intention. His words begin to reflect a vision where both of you continue moving forward side by side. That doesn't mean every conversation will be serious or that every moment will be about long-term plans. Life still includes laughter, fun, and living in the present. But beneath those moments, there is an underlying feeling that the relationship has direction. There is a sense that the connection is not temporary. And when a man reaches that point in his heart where he begins to imagine you in the chapters of his future life, it becomes one of the strongest signals that his love is genuine, because people do not plan their future around someone they intend to leave behind. A man who truly loves you doesn't just want you for the moment. He wants you for the journey ahead. He wants to build memories with you, overcome challenges with you, celebrate victories with you, and grow together as life continues to unfold. And when you see a man naturally including you in his dreams, his plans, and his vision for tomorrow, that is one of the most powerful signs that his love is real and that he sees you as someone who belongs in his life for a long time to come